At exactly 6:47 a.m., she stood up like she always did. Same bed, same slippers, same routine. But this time, her legs gave out. No warning, no noise, just a loud crash that changed everything. What happened next shocked even the doctors. And the scariest part, it could happen to you tomorrow morning, and you wouldn't even see it coming. She stood up like she always did. Same bed, same slippers, same silence in the house. But this time, at exactly 6:47 a.m., her legs buckled beneath her, and she hit the floor without making a sound. Her name was Denise, a 73-year-old retired nurse who still had a garden full of sunflowers and a freezer full of her grandkids' favorite soup. Her daughter called that morning like she always did. No answer, no call back. By noon, a neighbor knocked and found Denise lying near the foot of her bed, dazed, shaken, but alive. The hospital ruled out stroke, heart attack, seizure. The real cause, she had stood up too fast and her blood pressure plummeted, a silent ambush known as orthostatic hypotension. She had no idea. She thought it was just getting older, and that right there is the danger. It isn't the dramatic events that scare me. It's the quiet routines we trust that end up betraying us. That morning could have taken everything from her. And what's worse, it's preventable, because how you get out of bed may feel automatic, but after 60, it's one of the riskiest moments of your entire day. Denise learned that the hard way, but you don't have to. Today, I'm going to show you how to reclaim your mornings, protect your strength, and hold on to your freedom. It all begins with the choices you make in the first 5 minutes after you open your eyes, because they might seem small, but they decide everything. Robert spent 3 decades running into burning buildings, lifting people twice his size, carrying weight most of us can't even imagine. But one icy morning in January, what brought him to his knees wasn't fire. It was gravity. He'd just turned 75 and still woke up like he was in his 30s, throwing his legs off the bed, standing straight up, walking with purpose, until one day he stood, felt the room spin, and dropped like a sack of bricks. He cracked his collarbone on the edge of the dresser and spent the next 7 weeks in rehab, asking the same question over and over. How did this happen to me? The answer was simple. He never gave his body time to catch up. Blood pressure takes longer to adjust with age. Circulation slows. Reaction time dulls. And if you stand before your body's ready, you could be standing into a fall you don't come back from. Since that fall, Robert's new routine looks a little different. He lies still for 30 seconds, wiggles his toes, breathes deeply, moves his wrists and ankles, sits up slow, then waits again before standing. He calls it his 2-minute insurance plan. You don't have to be weak to fall. You just have to be in a hurry. And that's a race no one over 60 needs to win. You'd never expect water to be the hero of a story, but in Janet's case, it was. For months she woke up foggy, stiff, and low on energy. Her family thought she was slipping. She thought it was age. Doctors ran tests. All normal. Then a nurse asked a simple question. Do you drink water when you wake up? That was it. No pills. No new diets. Just a glass of water first thing in the morning. Because here's what most people don't realize. While you sleep, your body keeps working. Breathing, pumping, repairing, detoxing, all without input. By morning, you're mildly dehydrated, even if you don't feel thirsty. And with age, your thirst signal weakens, so you won't know you're dry until your body starts failing. Thick blood, unstable pressure, slow cognition, all of it silently forming a trap. Janet added a glass of water to her nightstand, drank it before even reaching for her phone, and within days, her morning fog lifted. Within weeks, her energy returned. Not magic, just moisture. Don't wait until you feel bad. Hydrate before the symptoms appear, because by the time your body begs for water, it's already been starving for hours. Susan had always said coffee was her one true love. Every morning, she brewed a strong cup, took her heart meds, and started her day. But lately, something felt off. Her stomach burned. Her chest felt tight. She wasn't sleeping well. She thought it was just stress. Until one morning, she nearly passed out in the kitchen. Her doctor's diagnosis: too much acid. Her dietitian's advice: coffee wasn't the problem. Coffee on an empty stomach was. You see, after hours of fasting overnight, your stomach is raw, vulnerable. When you pour coffee in first, without any food buffer, it signals your body to produce more gastric acid, and without anything to absorb it, that acid attacks your stomach lining. That's how you get reflux, bloating, ulcers, and that jittery, anxious feeling, even after just one cup. The solution isn't to quit coffee, it's to protect yourself first. Susan started eating a banana or a slice of toast before coffee, sometimes just a few almonds. And within days, her symptoms faded. Now she still drinks her morning brew, but without the burn, without the fog. If you love coffee, good, but love your stomach more. Charles didn't think stiffness was a big deal. He was 76. Of course his back hurt, his knees cracked, his hips felt heavy. He assumed it was part of the package. Until the morning he stepped out of bed, took 3 steps toward the bathroom, and felt his leg give out. He didn't fall, but it was enough to scare him. That wobble woke him up. Morning stiffness isn't just annoying, it's dangerous. Because when we sleep, our joints settle. The lubricating fluid in our joints slows down. Our muscles stay inactive. And when you jump into motion too quickly, you're moving parts that aren't warmed up. That's how you strain a hamstring, twist an ankle, or worse, fall. Charles changed his morning routine immediately. Now he starts with ankle rolls, wrist circles, deep breaths, and soft spine stretches. It takes 3 minutes, but it makes the next 23 hours feel 10 times better. And it keeps him upright, balanced, and confident. Think of your body like a car in winter. Would you slam the gas before warming up the engine? No. Then why do it to your knees and back? Lucille didn't see it coming. One day, she stood up from bed, leaned forward slightly, and felt a sharp twinge in her back. A week later, she noticed she was walking more hunched. Then the dizziness started. Then came the fall. No broken bones. But everything changed. She stopped going on walks, stopped cooking, lost the glow she used to carry. Why? Because her posture slowly collapsed, and so did her confidence. You might think posture is about appearance, but it's not. It's about balance, oxygen, energy. When you rise hunched, you breathe less deeply. You compress your organs. You shift your center of gravity forward, making you more likely to fall. And worse, studies show that poor posture affects your emotions, memory, and mood. The more closed in your body, the more closed off your mind. Lucille got help. Physical therapy, mindful posture cues. A few simple changes. Sit tall at the edge of the bed. Pull your shoulders back. Keep your head level, not down. Within weeks, she felt stronger, happier, more stable. Stand like you respect your life, because the way you rise writes the story of your day. Margaret's fall didn't leave her with a cast. It left her with something worse. Fear. She'd been in the bathroom, reaching for the towel rack, when she slipped. Just a bruise on her hip. But after that day, she avoided walking down the hallway without someone near. She stopped going to church, stopped shopping alone. That fall didn't steal her bones. It stole her trust in herself. And that's the part no one talks about. Falls don't just hurt physically. They shatter independence. And most of them don't come from accidents. They come from ignored signs. A stumble here, a dizzy second there. The solution isn't to live in fear. It's to listen, to slow down, to hydrate, to stretch, to anchor yourself before you move. Margaret got back on her feet, physically and emotionally, because she rebuilt her confidence, one cautious step at a time. You can too, but don't wait for the scare. Change your habits before they become regrets. Walter didn't believe in morning routines. At 80, he believed in habits, not hashtags. But when his wife passed, he didn't know what to do with himself. The mornings felt empty. So one day, without a plan, he sat up in bed and just breathed. Then he stretched his fingers, rolled his ankles, took a sip of water, watched the sun rise through the curtains. And he did it again the next day, and the next. What started as grief became ritual, a quiet, sacred space before the noise of the world. And slowly, Walter felt stronger, clearer, more connected. He wasn't just surviving. He was choosing life, one stretch at a time. You don't need yoga classes or green smoothies. You need presence. 2 minutes of conscious movement, a deep breath, a silent thank you, a sip of water. These aren't small acts, they're anchors. And for Walter, they were everything. Let your morning be your medicine, not something to rush through, but something that heals. Mark found the letter after the funeral. It was tucked inside a drawer with birthday cards and photographs. His mother had written it just weeks before she passed. In her neat handwriting, she wrote, "I've been feeling dizzy when I get out of bed, but I don't want to worry anyone. It probably doesn't mean much." But it did. She passed from a fall, one that might have been prevented. That letter shattered Mark, because it was a whisper that became a scream. How many people do we know who brush things off? Who say I'm fine when they're not? Who ignore the warnings because they don't want to be a burden? Don't let that be you. Don't let pride stand in the way of prevention.